Broke my mics. No, break here. Good enough.
All right.
And so begins the discussion of cats.
Ah! Yeah. Cats.
Saviors of cinema.
We're saviors of cinema or the cats are saviors of cinema?
Obviously the cats.
Oh.
Cats!
Ah! Oh.
I'm going to try and get more and more horrifying with it. How about this one? Cats!
That's more questioning it.
Well, what do you think is more appropriate for this movie? Cats!
That one. Oh, Lord.
I'm just clicking through Cat's image now. This one's not bad. This one's like the cat girl waifu that the internet would want, right?
Oh, after this movie, I don't think anyone's going to be typing in cute cat videos for a while on the internet.
Can you? No, I can't wait until they deep fake this. And like this gives so many people ideas for the new era of cat videos where it's like, here's my cat and then I'm the owner. And then just putting the owner's face on their cats and basically doing a Thumb Wars kind of parody. Can we deep fake cats, guys? Please? I want to see a deep fake cat. Hold on, talk.
Well, I thought, like, if anything, people are just going to try to deep fake, like, make people think this wasn't real. Like, it's just like, go up to someone and it's like, hey, did you see that new movie? And it's like, what, Star Wars? No, the other one. What do you mean the other one? And you're just like, oh
yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't anything else.
No, but you've seen the Mike Tyson deepfake video, right?
No.
This was a real thing. I remember this back when the trailer first came out. By the way, we'll talk about the trailer. I'd like to start there. But there was the deepfake Mike Tyson video, and it is basically Mike Tyson replaces of all the faces.
Oh, wait, you've shown me this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's horrifying.
It's great. Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, no. Here we go.
And it's so smooth.
It's not smooth. It's scary.
Cats.
Oh, I hate it.
By Dr. Fakenstein.
Oh,
apparently he does a lot of like deep fakes, but I love that it just works, and it kind of makes me like, wow, this is the power of technology. Not all the actors getting covered in fur with CGI, but this Mike Tyson's face replacing everyone in the thing. That is what makes me go, wow, technology.
This just reminded me half of what the movie was about.
Refreshing.
So, I do have to say, I like the staged version. Like, there's another movie of just a filmed of the stage version, and I like it.
So yeah, they do that a lot when something hits Broadway. Is they make a DVD or recorded session that's like on one of their performances in New York. Like they choose the best ones, and they sell that once it goes off Broadway. Basically.
Yeah, I have several of like Broadway performances of different musicals.
Tell me a few.
There is the Gilbert and Sullivan's Mikado. It's the one with Eric Idle.
Yes, I remember that one.
I have it. It's really good. It kind of tones down the racism in it. British old-timey humor.
Wasn't the whole point of that video to kind of eliminate people's prejudices against, Chinese culture and Japanese culture?
So what they did was to tone.
Which one is it? Asian culture. You shouldn't lump them
it's
together.
Japan. The setting is
I thought
ancient
so.
Japan.
I thought it was about the court, but I forget which empire they were referring to because Japan and China have different.
Yeah, but in that version, they changed the setting to it's in Japan, but in a 1920s style English hotel in Japan.
It was kind of more to show that culture existed in those lands where most people were like, oh, there's nothing there but
so
fish.
For the setting...
Quick summary.
Sorry, the setting of it being Japan doesn't really matter. It's the story of what happens there that matters, of the romance and the farce and the death and everything. It was just... When they saw it, it intrigued the writer who was British. He's like, oh, that culture, that's really interesting. And then he wrote a story about it.
Which kind of turned into a comedy and more of a stereotyping, establishing a stereotype. Okay.
Sorry.
No. But yeah, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But There's several videos, movies like that. I don't have a lot of them, but that's one of them. Shouldn't have brought it up. One of the movies that isn't just a film stage version, but still feels like a staged play is the old version of with Kevin Kline of Pirates of Penzance, where it feels like a set and everything, but that's the whole point.
When I think of set, I think of like Jester, or what's that one called? Jester in the King's Court.
I don't know this.
It's the one you like. There's the snap and he switches personalities.
Oh, the Court Jester.
That one had a really nice set that looks like it belongs on a stage. But
this is Danny Kaye's Court Jester.
It's like classic, like cinema staging.
Yeah, that's what it was kind of like. Everything felt painted, but yeah.
So coming back to this. So you have, what's your experience with cats?
I own the poetry book.
So you're, what would you say, certified?
I would say I know the background of the musical. I've seen the musical movie, so I know more than the average person, because most people that I feel like have seen this have never seen the original play. I'm not saying
so educated.
Yes, in the world of cats. Know that I saw the musical and then I went and read the poems.
My certification is that I've seen almost every anime that features a cat girl, so that's the extent of my certification. I know the aesthetic.
Great. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Well,
Nyan. I want to die.
Now I'm upset to be in this room. Are you okay?
No.
You an old cat over there?
My soul just almost left my body with what little I have. But no. Yes. So none of us really know much about cats. I remember it came to Portland when I was around 4.
Uh-huh.
And they did a broadcast on one of the channels. Because they were traveling, they did a portion of the show it was a TV special. I think it was a holiday special, and they showed cats. I remember watching it, and I'm like, this is kind of fun. And I wasn't really sure what I was looking at. It was just kind of cats dancing around. They kind of scared me, to be honest. It was always the eyes. Like, do you remember the eyes on the poster? The original Cats poster was just these yellow eyes. And
it was cat eyes. And in the movie musical, those just shoot out like multiple times in the overture.
Yeah, this always scared me. Like, I have a thing about eyes, like, and I never got that these were other cats dancing in the eyes. I just thought they were really weird, like goat eyes, and like it just unsettled me. I never really got that big into cats, but I always knew it existed. And it was only because of this movie I went back to look at it. I'm like, oh my God, it's Thundercats. And I love Thundercats. So, but I'm looking at the stage play and I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember these guys. They were like acrobats, and they jumped around the trash pile, and they were all singing and dancing. I never went any further than how it looked. So I guess it's nice the movie kind of reinvigorated interest in the original.
Yeah. I would say something that I always hear complaints about cats that I feel like is just a misconception. People just judge it right off the bat is it has no story. And that's not...
You don't need one.
Yeah, you don't need one. But the whole point is it's a spectacle musical. The whole point is the spectacle.
You're supposed to watch it, much like Nutcracker has a story, right? But you don't go to see the story. You're going to see it because it's a ballet set.
Cats is very big on dancing. It's the beauty of the dancing and the singing. It's a very big intertwine of it.
The dancing in the movie, I'm just going to say right out now, is good. The problem, however, is the practical editing of cinema for it. I don't want to quite get into it, but shall I just sum up the story? It's really easy.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with the anime Beastars...
I hate it already.
So the concept basically is this cat gets abandoned. This is Victoria.
Yeah, the white cat.
And she is thrust into this world of alley cats, which are celebrating a annual event, which is one cat in the alley known as a galley cat. Gallicat?
I don't know if we should be
Gallicat.
that. Okay.
Gallicat?
Judi Dench's part.
And she is thrust into this world of mysterious cats, which are basically saying there's a celebration known as the gala or the ball, where someone will be chosen to ascend to a new life.
Go back quickly.
What?
Because
no one's gonna see this.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Here's a sentence. A tribe of cats must decide yearly which one will ascend to the heavens heavy? Yeah, it is Heaviside layer.
Where?
And
what?
Come back to a new life. See, that's a one sentence thing.
Heaviside I always thought it said Heavenside layer.
I don't know why it's called the Heaviside layer.
Okay, so basically, they're going to this place where they're going to be reborn and get another chance at life. And I don't know if it's like they keep their memories or if their souls just transfer. There's not much explained about the magic system in this world.
They do explain it a little bit, saying Old Deuteronomy has been chosen several times.
Really? Oh, she's lived 909. She's lived 99 lives. So basically, it sounds like she's been
around. Well, Old Deuteronomy is usually played by a male, which is why I was very curious at when they chose Judi Dench.
Do you think they originally had what's his name?
Ian
McKellen as the part of Deuteronomy?
No, I think right off the bat they knew he was going to be Gus the theater cat because man, does that part fit him perfectly? Because
just sort of old and.
What's funny is not exactly perfectly because man, can that guy still act?
Yeah, he's got it, but I kind of feel like they just picked up Ian McKellen when he was still napping, brought him on the set, put the suit on him, and basically said, "Ian, it's time for it to go on." He was like, "Where am I?" And basically just kind of pushed him onto the front of the camera, and then he just started basically reciting old poetry he knew back in college that he had practiced 1,000 times, and he basically just went in automatic mode. But like, I knew he was acting because I've seen him like offset.
Yeah.
But I would totally believe if they just totally scooped him up and he just forgot where he was. That's how good of an actor he is.
Yeah, no, he's very good. There's a really funny video of him as Gandalf just on the set, just napping, and they yell action. He just wakes up and it's the cutest thing.
Yes, I remember that. just falls asleep. And they say he was sitting in the chair. It was the council meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They said action. Immediately he went. He said straight up. I really don't think they should be dusting off these like treasures of cinema. Like they should really just let them retire in peace, you know? Unless they want to offer more, then I say let them.
I saw a review of someone who said like this is totally like ruined their career. I wouldn't say that.
It's a mark.
It's a mark on their career, but I mean...
It's not a bad remark because if you are good in a bad production, I think that is more important than the production itself.
Yeah.
I think an individual can stand out, right?
Yeah. Like I would say...
regardless of the product. And I think a lot of star actors have been trying to do that. Daniel Radcliffe, Emma...
I would say in this one,
Stone?
Victoria...
What's her name?
Emma...
Watson?
Emma Watson.
And then what's Ron's name?
Let me look that up.
Yes, he's been in a few things that I've watched that like, this is an interesting take. But he's always kind of playing like the goofball, which I think he should lean more into, but like not become Jim Carrey, basically.
Yeah.
Did you get him?
It is Rupert Grint.
Rupert Grint?
Rupert Grint.
Rupert Grint?
Yeah.
I think you're all right. I have to do more research into him though, because I've only seen one other movie with him. Radcliffe is like basically played a corpse, the devil, and I think a serial killer.
A doctor.
Yes.
Rupert Grint was on a Broadway play. I forget what it was called. The Play Goes On or something such as that.
The Play Must Go On, or Everything Must Go Wrong. Moving on.
Yeah, something. He was
on stage.
Yeah.
So this was a stage production that was all about the movement of cats. I think they got the gracefulness of cats, but they put the focus again on visual editing on the wrong places. For example, a cat just goes 90 degrees down a wall, and you've seen cats do that. They slow down their descent, but it didn't look good.
It felt like he was walking on a wall rather than
it looks like they just tilted the camera.
Yeah.
And there are times when Veronica, who is played by Victoria, who is played by what's her name? You look these up. Francesca Hayward.
Yes, this is her first
Franny.
But she is like an award-winning.
She's an English ballet dancer and actress, and she's danced for the Royal Ballet of the Covent Garden in London. Okay, so she's a big deal.
Yes.
At dancing.
Yes.
However, the camera is always focusing on her face and her looking at another cat.
Yeah.
And them dancing together, but she is a ballet, and one of the most important things about ballet is the body, the whole part of her. And there's these parts where she's stretching and she's posing and she's doing the ballet thing, but then the camera cuts, so you don't get to see the follow through, only where she lands. So basically, ballet is the smoothness of going from setup, follow, land. And that is the essence of ballet and many other things that I'm not qualified to answer for. But essentially, because it's meant to cut to the beat of the music, and I don't know why, so there's 8 different angles on her, and they never focus on her leg work.
I noticed they focused on a lot of the simple movements that are still very like beautiful
Her
and elegant.
abstract movements, like when they're doing their hand stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing interpretive dance. And like you're thinking, okay, she's the most graceful one because she is a graceful cat. And everyone else has got their own style of movement.
I like that. The thing they focused a lot on...
But why focus on the wall climbing and all of that looks really bad, but then not the thing she is known for, which is ballet.
I noticed they focused also a lot on the like hip-hop dancing, which is what a lot of the cats did.
Okay, that's something different. They're
Well, no, I'm saying...
But hold on.
Unlike what they did.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but... Let's go back for a second. You know Mel Brooks?
Yes.
You know the history of the world?
Yes.
Well, who's the guy who does the scatting? Or no, the tap dancing?
The guy who like says, "Who's got a bag of sand?" and he throws it on the
and
history
of the world
cast
movie. And you want to find here, and he was during the Roman times. Here we go, the Roman Empire, Emperor Nero, Gladiator Manor. In the service of Empress Nympho.
The Ethiopian. Go back up.
Maybe.
Go back up.
Here, the Roman Empire, there's Swiftus, which is Ron Carey, and there's the Ethiopian slave Joseph, which is played by Gregory Hines. Yes,
him.
That's him. And they made a whole part for him showing his ability to dance.
Yeah.
They wrote in a part.
He's a dancer, actor, singer, and choreographer.
Even though his part was funny, they didn't have to include it. He was just a name in himself. They gave him a chance to dance because that's his medium. That's something he wanted to do. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, you hired a person who's specifically known at dancing, and it feels like you cut because you thought it was boring, which is a little upsetting.
Yeah.
You told me no one went to the premiere of this. Like none of the original actors.
Well, okay, I may have.
Or were you using hyperbole?
I was probably using hyperbole. I don't know exactly. I said like I think
shame.
Like James Corden or like someone said like yeah I didn't go and see this yet. It's just like some of them like I've been looking up reviews and it's like even some of the actors who've been in this said yeah I haven't seen it yet or ever will, and I'm just like because a lot of them are pulling out, just agreeing with everyone else saying it's a bad movie.
Okay. I've told you, I think bashing on a movie is popular because nothing is better than clicking on a movie with a big sad face and like seeing someone tear into something because it makes you feel like you know something no one else does. But I think that's been so played out that no one has, their own stance on something. And I've even done this where I've regurgitated like a video that I've seen like, oh, that's not so good. And then I've never even seen the film. I just said, oh, I heard bad things about it. I think if you want to hate something, go see it and hate it.
Yeah.
Support your hate. No, I'm kidding. That's too far.
Use your anger.
Use your strike me down.
Strike your movie down with your anger.
But on that note, I think this movie is like on the same level of Moulin Rouge, where it was a lot going on because they have a lot more control over it than a stage play, so they kind of went crazy with it. In this one, I think they went crazy with effects, where you could have had a whole thing where you had the whole room filled with cats and them doing synchronized dancing, right? Mm-hmm. But they never utilized that. They always had a main cat they focused on, and the other cats just stood around watching them, except for the second half.
Well, what's kind of funny about that is a lot of people actually really liked Moulin Rouge. I'm not sure if it was right when it came out, but at least like people nowadays that I know of it really liked Moulin Rouge.
I'm thinking Moulin Rouge, and Moulin Rouge was kind of the startup of the modern cinema musical. Like you think of what Greatest Showman, right? Mm-hmm. You think of what are some other musicals?
Into the Woods,
Chicago,
Cabaret.
Look, I think Cabaret came up before.
Yes.
This though, I think the idea of like. The Moulin, like look at this. This is a lot going on. They're playing with color and they're doing this and it's great, but there's something off about it. It's like trying to Skinner box the audience. They're trying to have so much going on that you don't feel a moment of boredom, which I guess is important. But in the end, I don't know. There's just no slow moments. Like in Cats, there was at least slow moments in the beginning, and they took pauses for slow songs for the characters who didn't get enough time. So I appreciate that.
I do want to say some people do say Moulin Rouge is what restarted up
musicals,
movie musicals specifically, because one had been done in a very long time, and they said that's what started up. Not counting Disney movies.
No, yeah, I'm thinking though, like. It's a weird scenario because like I'm one who's like I appreciate that they went all like full pedal to the metal on the effects for Cats the movie because that's something you can never do on stage is that level of detail. But oh my god, when the trailer first came out. When that trailer first came out and you just saw these faces plastered onto these CGI models.
I thought the first one wasn't CGI.
It was.
Oh. I thought
This is all CGI, not just... they wore outfits, right?
Yeah.
That were mocapped, and then they put the fur textures over it.
I think the fur came out in later trailers.
They fixed the fur. So you see how tight the hair is here?
Yeah.
They extended this out for some of the models, but not stuff for the other cats that had clothing. Like what's his name? Mistopheles?
Mr. Mistopheles.
His fur. There was one scene I was looking, I'm like, oh my god, is that just black spandex? Did they forget to give him fur?
Oh.
And I was just watching and I'm like, I think they forgot to add fur. And I'm like, it might have been better. And I was just thinking this in my head as I was watching him. I'm like, what if they all just wore like tight leotards, like ballets, and they had little aspects in their clothing that reflected their personalities? Like the biggest problem I have with Cats is I'm not sure what's normal. Like there are some cats who are wearing coats. Yes. There are some cats that are wearing hats. There are some cats that are wearing suspenders and shoes. And this is to make
sneakers.
them sneakers. And this is to make them stand out as characters and have a bit of personality outside of the crowd. You're meant to focus in on them. That is understandable. But within the context of Cats, I do not understand when what's her name? Rebel
Wilson.
Rebel Wilson. Rebel Wilson takes a zipper, tears it down her chest, and sheds her coat. I understand she's shedding her winter coat, but then somehow at some point she gets it back on, which means in the context of a cat, she is literally growing hair or gluing it back on, and it's driving me crazy. And don't get me started with the cockroaches, because everyone talks about the cockroaches, and that is nightmare fuel from like some Russian metamorphosis, and I am having an existential breakdown watching this, and I'm like, someone thought this was okay.
Oh no, what's funny is someone went into a room. You got to think about this. Someone had to come up with this idea first, and okay,
you're busting out your notes. I'm excited.
Yeah, sorry. So just imagine the guy who signed off on this was just not fully listening to the idea. You just have someone going, here's my pitch. Something, something cats. Something, something Ian McKellen. Something, something sign here. And the person's like, cats? Ian McKellen? I like those two things. And then signed off, and then boom, this thing happened.
Yeah. It's like they just want it to happen. But I'm going to be honest. I think they want it to happen now. And that's why there was so many mistakes when it first came out. Unfortunately, we saw the patched version. Although
no, her ring
old dude still had her ring.
Old
dudette.
Old Deuteronomy. One of the characters just calls her old dude, and I'm just
old
like,
dude. I'm like, that sounds like toot, man. Come on, that's too close. Old toot. And yes, she has her human hand. They all have human hands, but the fact is she has a ring on, which is a problem because they already showed human rings being the size of bracelets, and then there's hers, and you're kind of like, I spent the whole movie looking for mistakes. That's why I forget I'm not talking about the plot. I totally missed everything they're saying because the sound mixing was bad, because the music was too loud and the voices were too quiet, and the same thing happened in Les Miserables, and I hate it. I hate when they do this. I hate when they try to use the music to emotionally manipulate their audience, and they're like, this is the part where it swells and you're supposed to feel emotion, rather than hearing the lyrics and what the person is saying. They know they can manipulate the audience because this is your cue to feel sad, and it's like, whatever. Where is the dude who's just in the mocap suit? Where is he? And I'm like looking around in the background, not paying attention to the main characters, and I'm like, where's that girl who wasn't CGI'd right? Where is she? Where's the statue? Where's she at?
And then there's me, who was actually paying attention to everything because I actually like this musical.
Something cats. Something fursuits. something catnip. something dancing. And I'm who was the guy behind this? Like, who was the brainchild behind this?
Dave.
So the screenplay is by Lee Hall and Tom Hooper, with directed by Tom Hooper, produced by Tom Hooper, and Eric Deborah Wayward.
They all pretty much have
basically. It looks like Tom Hooper was the brainchild of this project.
Yeah, but the people who produced it, I backchecked all of them. They all seem to have produced very similar movies.
Can you define the genre and category this movie is in that makes it similar to the rest? Like CBA movies, or are you trying to be polite?
I because of the limited plot, I'm not exactly sure what this is.
No. Not in terms of genres. I am talking about why are these movies so similar in their genre, in their areas.
Well, so
name some films they've made.
Les Miserables is
a musical
that they helped produce. You just poke me out there, and I'm just like, but just click on them, and we can see.
Okay, so Tom Hooper. Ooh, that wasn't a polite sound I just made. Where am I looking?
Produced.
He did independent films. He's done Cold Feet.
Oh,
is that the one with penguins?
I think so.
No, that's Happy Feet. What do you know?
Oh, it was Baby Driver was also one of the movies they did.
He did Baby Driver?
He didn't direct it, he produced. In the movies that those people
forget
produce.
This. All I'm going to say is someone who was making that film just really wanted to see cat people rubbing up against each other. So I told you, as part of furry culture, this is a very small subsection of furryism. You got your cat girls, right? There's levels to furryism, right?
Okay, I'm just not going to touch it.
There is furryism where you have a person who has animal aspects, like they have whiskers, like Naruto, or they have cat ears, like in any anime, right? And then you get your furry, which is like Sonic, or like Nick from Zootopia, or Robin from Disney, Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And then you get your furries, which go more into the real area, like Star Fox and Crystal.
Zootopia?
No. You go one step further, right? And they become more realistic. Zootopia is still cartoonish. Then you start getting into the realistic stuff. And then you get into this area where it is straight up just animals that have grown human limbs. And this is like the level of those Sonic Echidna comics. Like, the guy originally wrote for Sonic left and wrote his own series about space echidnas. And oh my gosh.
Please stop. No.
My knowledge is deep.
Oh, why?
There's just an echidna in space. That's not what I was going for. Are you ready to step into the depth that I know of?
No.
Do you want to see the darkness that I hold? Ah! That's right. Knuckles Flash Gordon. There is a whole space adventure of echidnas.
Goose? Is that a space goose?
Yeah, it is a space swan. Punk.
Help.
There is a whole realm you do not know the depths of. You know nothing, Jon Snow. But the Cats falls into that territory, like the super realistic this movie, and it would have been okay in my opinion, just more like outfits, like more stuff to show their characters. Don't just I've stepped into dangerous territory and I don't know how to get out.
Can we just continue on with Cats? Let me bring up my notes again.
Okay.
I thought the beginning was
okay, how about this? I appreciated that the actors knew how to act like cats.
That's usually how Cats is done, yeah.
Okay, but they knew, like, you arch your back, you move your neck back and forward when you're threatening.
They most likely had someone teaching and
all the
telling
cat
them.
behaviors, yeah. Like in Lion King, they brought in a lion to see its movements so they could draw it. I'm pretty sure these actors just watched cat videos for a week and were like, oh yeah, I know how a cat would act.
So do you want to know the origin of...
Also, can I just say there's nothing cooler than seeing a cat in leg warmers? It's like a thing now.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want to know the origins?
Look at this. They look like AC/DC.
Do you want to know the origins of the poem book?
Do I?
It was just pretty much the guy who wrote the poems.
T.S. Eliot.
T.S. Eliot is said to have just like saw cats in his backyard because he lived
wrote about them.
Yes, he just watched cats all day and wrote poems.
Sounds like an artist.
Yeah.
Artists tend to watch cats. I don't know why. It's just a common attribute that I find every artist has. There's like something about it.
Okay, here are some detailed things that I do not like about this movie. Rebel Wilson's character, Jenny Anydots, keeps interrupting a song for no specific reason.
Okay, so let's get into it. So basically, they have to go to a gala, and there are certain cats that are being nominated to be reborn. So you have Rebel Wilson's
character, who is Jenny Anydots,
and
which
she
is just a house
is a cat who is
I'll describe it, sir.
She is lofty, and she's flippant, and she's like
she's just a fat house cat.
But then she spends all day training smaller animals to be performers. All night.
Yeah, because she says it's her duty.
It's her duty to keep them in line. And so she's jumping all around and she's kind of failing at what she's doing. And then you and me talked about this and we looked at it and we're like, this isn't the cat character we're watching.
This is just Rebel Wilson.
This is just Rebel Wilson in a cat suit being Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
Not, what's her name?
Her character?
Yeah.
Jenny Anydots.
Jenny Anydots. And there it is, Anydots. And a domestic tabby who boosts the productivity of mice and roaches. So
as she eats some of the roaches.
Oh my God.
It was horrifying.
It's horrifying. But yes, so she sings her song. And then who shows up?
Rum Tum Tiger.
Rum Tum Tugger.
Tugger. A capricious tomcat who riles up others. So his whole thing is that he's just a contradiction.
What do you mean?
Because his whole song's about how when you let me in, I only want to go out. If you let me out, I only want to go.
the fickle nature of a cat. Yes.
Yeah.
So they're all aspects of cats. Let's go into it though. When he's singing his song, there is a moment when Jenny Anydots is walking down with who? What's his name? Gray cat.
Munkenstrap.
And they're walking down, and she was like, "Well, he's not all that."
Yeah, she just keeps breaking the song.
And breaks in the middle of the song, and you're like, okay, so she's the jealous type, right? And then he keeps singing, and he's dancing, and I'm like, okay, this is bringing a little bit more up to the songs, because right now they've been very melodramatic. She had a very up song. It was unfortunately very reminiscent of Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat, which is a constant nightmare on my memory. But basically they're talking and he's laughing, and then she makes another remark and she's like, I can dance like that too, and she does a little jig that's completely interrupting his song just for a moment of funny. And I could tell this was for kids, and I'm watching this, I'm like, this was a blooper. It looked like she was just doing this for fun, because the guy's not there, right? Yeah. The guy she was walking with is no longer there, so I think she was just having fun. getting like loose for the camera.
I think he was actually right by the.
She was not there. Like they either edited him out, or this was just her in front of the camera getting like warmed up, and they took these and say, "Huh, that's pretty funny." And she's like, "No, I was just warming up." And they're like, "Let's stick it in there." And she was still wearing the suit, so they put the cat suit and animated her there. But those were bloopers. It felt like those were bloopers inserted into the main film.
Yeah, it was very distracting and had no real reason for being there.
Had no reason, because everyone else gets their full song.
Well,
everyone gets their full song, and if there is a moment they're not singing, they're dancing. And they're focusing on dancing. So when you pull away from the dancing and showing her, you are wasting our time for the musical number.
Yeah. And I mean...
Do I care about cats? Why am I angry about this?
What's funny is Rum Tum Tugger, even though he gets his own song, he's one of the only cats with his own song that isn't auditioning to go to the Heaviside Lair.
True, he's just having fun.
He's just having fun. And so that's why bad stuff starts happening.
Yeah, and then you have McCavity, which is really weird because it sounds like he's Havity or like something. I'm surprised he's not called Catastrophe, honestly. That's a missed opportunity on the playwrights from like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
20 years ago. I don't know how long ago it's been. But so we skip through. There's Bustiff Jones, which is a big old cat.
Jones.
He gets a musical number. There's Skimbleshanks, which is
the railway
tap dancing.
cat.
Yeah, this is the one in the spandex who just starts tap dancing. And guess what? They keep cutting literally 2 seconds cut, 2 seconds cut, 2 seconds cut. So you never get the marvelty of his feet because that's his talent. Instead, you're getting wide shot, long shot, group shot, close shot, foot shot, long shot, group shot. And they just kept doing this big old circle of cuts. And I'm like, just sit still for a second.
Do you want to know what movie had the same problem as that?
What?
Moulin Rouge.
Yes, it did.
It cut so quickly that it had great cuts. Is the thing? It's like all of the different camera shots were really good. It's just
I remember that one where they're all
enough.
talking. I forget which scene it was, but it's them all talking, and it goes to each face in a circle. Mm-hmm. It's like stay a while or something like that.
The one where they're producing their idea to
yes.
the rich man. Yeah, it's I forget.
They're trying to wow him, and the cuts are just like that. And I get such a headache with some of that stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Well, back to this.
Oh, come on.
Sorry.
There's nothing about this. This is all just...
Yeah, and so Skimbleshanks
basically, Cavity, the villain of the thing, starts kidnapping people, so he's the only one left. Then random stuff happens. B-plot, C-plot happens. Two twins. Okay, so the Calico scene I really actually like. This is where I actually saw potential in the film.
Because they do the silhouettes. Teaser.
They do silhouettes in the window.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, when you're not focusing on the faces and you're just focusing on their jumps and their movements, I'm like, okay, now this is something that's really cool to see because you're not being distracting. You're showing a setup. You're staging it, right? It's fine. And they get to shenanigans. They leave Victoria to be, attacked by the dog. Mephistopheles frees her. And they run to the old Egyptian where old Deuteronomy is going to see the performances and decide who ascends.
Yeah.
And the term is a jellicle. Jellicle cat.
Jellicle cat.
Don't know what that means.
There's literally the whole beginning song tells you what a jellicle cat
but
is.
Again, the music overrode everything they said, so I don't know a gosh darn thing.
So what's funny is pretty much how they explain is any cat can be a jellicle cat because they say if you're a short cat, you can be a jellicle cat. Tall, small, wide, skinny.
Then why is what? Come on.
It's pretty much anyone can be a jellicle cat. We don't discriminate, kind of.
Whoa. What is this?
Jellicle is a strange contorted contraction of words dear little, just as the pollicle and pollicle dog. See, I told you about this earlier.
But I'm looking at this and the first thing that popped up was a cat's where the F is a jellicle cat. What the F is it looks like an anime. Is there an anime of cats?
No, I think it's a book.
Whoa. Or do you think it's just someone's this is someone's thumbnail talking about cats. Okay, but I was shocked for a moment. I'm like, what is this like DIC looking cats production? Anyway, Everyone gets kidnapped, blah, 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 blah. They get drugged by catnip, and then they all just start having an orgy.
No.
It's basically an orgy.
It's catnip. So Taylor's...
But what was on the was there catnip in the stage play?
No.
Why was there catnip in this?
To
just have a whole bunch of people in skin-tight suits nuzzling up against each other.
It was supposed to be a thing where McCavity was kind of mind controlling everyone to do his number.
Except he didn't show up until
halfway through.
But here's the thing.
Which is how his song goes.
I've given catnip to cats. You know what happens?
What?
They scurry. They run all around. They're like, what was that? And they run. They're like, what's that? And they get really hyper. They don't get groovy.
I think catnip can be implied as whatever
ecstasy.
You want. No, never mind. I'm backing out. Bye.
Back out of this conversation. Soren.
I'm not coming back.
No one can hear you. Coward.
I don't want to come back.
You're going to have to. This movie was made with the exclusive intent that someone enjoyed this. So basically, I love the actor who plays Havity.
McCavity.
Yeah, McCavity. He's got these eyes that just I get lost in sometimes.
If you'd like to know, the villain of the movie of Hobbs and Shaw played the villain of this movie.
Call him by his name.
His name is
I'm pointing right at it.
Sorry, Idrissa Acuna Elba.
Yes.
I don't think that's how you say his first name. Idrissa?
It looks like Idrissa.
Okay.
But basically, he's been in all the very stoic parts of movies lately. He's the gatekeeper in Thor. He is the villain in Hobbs and Shaw. And he is always bringing 110% to his characters of solid badass. And I love it.
If anything, he was one of the better parts of this movie.
Yes. Although there was this one point where he's wearing this dark ragged cloak, and they even mention Havity wears a dusty cloak that's worn with time, and you never know when he's going to show up. And all of a sudden he shows up and he's not wearing his coat, and instead he's just in this skin tight fursuit, and it's showing off his pecs. And I'm like, someone made a creative decision with him not coming in with a coat. So yeah, that image is now burnt in my memory. Because I don't forget movies.
I think I'm going to have a nightmare tonight.
I won't.
With dancing cat people.
I won't, no. No.
Well, why won't you? What are you going to do?
I'm probably going to put this in a creative method, into a podcast or something, to get it out of my system so I won't worry about it.
Well, that's stupid.
I probably will be drawing the original cat cast, though. Cat cast, that's fun. Say that 4 times fast. Cat cast. Thank you. Okay. Basically, I want to draw cats and leg warmers now. So that's going to be a thing I do tonight.
Oh Lord. Well,
yeah. And so basically,
no longer have a brother.
Deuteronomy says no. He kidnaps Deuteronomy and says, "Send me to heaven, or I push you off this boat." Which again calls into question this magic system, because he could just bamf everywhere he wants to go, like Nightcrawler. And then they have to get her back, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to spoil the end. But basically, it all turns out there is one other character called Grisabelle, the glamour cat, who is played by Jennifer Hudson.
Yes.
Which she did a fantastic job singing. And that is the one you want to focus on when you're singing. So when the singer sings, focus on them singing. When the dancer dance, focuses on when they dance. And
so about that is Grisabella never really in the musical never really got a really big dancing part. Her whole thing was the singing.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But you said they added a song because
they added a song to Victoria
to singing to Grisabella.
To Grisabella,
so that they could get a nomination
for a new original musical song in a musical movie.
An Oscar.
An Oscar, yeah, because that's what Les Miserables did. And guess who produced that?
Tom Hopper.
Yeah.
So they only added it so that they can get another category besides special effects, because they're like, we're not going to win special effects.
I don't know what they were thinking. I can't just say that's
How
what
do
they
you
did.
justify this movie?
I would just say they did it either hey, we need a song for this. We'd like a closer character connection. Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense that she suddenly brings her in. Whatever.
Yeah, because Victoria is actually not a big character in the musical.
She is the vehicle for the audience to explore the world.
Yes. At least in this version, yes. In the other version, she's just the only pure white cat on stage.
Have you ever read Warriors?
Little bit. Got bored very soon. Not saying the book is boring to everyone else, just for me, I couldn't get into it.
Do you think, like, could they make a movie with this same kind of concept where, like, people are cats and they're acting... Would that be weird?
What do you mean?
Warriors is supposed to be actually cats,
yes.
But, like, they're...
I could see Cats as an animated series.
Yeah.
Okay,
so let's bring that... Let me bring it up at one point. Why wasn't this fully animated?
Well,
like, I understand you wanted the faces of the people in it, right?
Right.
And you wanted people with theatrical talents being present in this production.
Right.
To give it some legitimacy. Legitimacy. But then you CGI'd everything.
Mm-hmm.
You made it so distracting that the focus wasn't on their dancing, but on the camera movements. And then... in the end, you even digitally touched up all their faces. So it's almost like, why didn't they motion capture it like, I don't know, Tom Hanks and Polar Express? Technology's better now, right? You can get a full person's face. Like, look at Yakuza. They got people... I keep bringing up Yakuza. They captured all the actors' faces and put them in the game.
Jim Carrey's Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, yes. Just do that, and then motion caption them dancing. But... maybe I truly believe then no one would have really cared about this film because...
I think what really is keeping it alive is just people wanting to see how terrible it actually is.
I think half of the people who went to go see this was because of how bad they heard it was, and they were hoping that the burning dumpster fire would be warm enough to give them some holiday cheer. I don't know. Yeah, because everyone now is in the market for a new good bad movie. Like The Room, like it's so bad that it's fun. I think people are looking for that movie, but because Universal cowered it out and they patched the movie first time in movie history while it's still in theaters because it was so bad, it makes me wonder if they'll release a theatrical release and then like an enhanced edition, which is like with the corrections. Like I wonder if they're going to lean into the mistakes that were published when the first weekend it came out. You know, because that was the official premiere production. And it's the idea in my head where it's like, are they just going to try and cover it up? Or are they going to lean into it and say the original uncut premiere of Cats? And it is with like some of the effects not on, and they'll even add more mistakes. So that people will get like, oh, look at that. They totally messed that up. And, oh.
Lord.
Is there anything else to say about this movie except that it was incredibly rushed so that it'd be out for Christmas?
Let me check my notes. The unnecessary ending with Judi Dench's 10-minute song speech about how to treat your cat.
No, okay, let's go back. You're reading him verbatim, but you forgot one thing.
Yeah.
When Havity is running around getting his scheme going, he's teleporting around bamfing, and then he bamps everyone to his boat, and then old dudette escapes, and he's like, come on, we're gonna catch her. And then he grabs Taylor Swift's character around the waist, and they bamf out. And then the only time we ever see him again is when he hops onto the rope of the Ascension ship. And then where's Taylor Swift?
Yeah, no,
there's like a whole part missing.
She doesn't show up again.
And
her character's name is Bombalurina. So in the musical, her character is kind of just one of the three cats that introduces other characters.
But because she's Taylor Swift, she needs a name?
Well, I mean, the character was named in the play.
Were they?
Well, yes.
I wasn't aware of that. I was like, you originally told me there were three main cats who were like the showgirls that kind of presented everyone
and
for Deuteronomy.
And that's where that name is usually put.
And I didn't realize they had names. I thought they were just like the handmaids.
In the staged thing, you only know, so only really the actors, and if you know the play like I do, you could tell which is what cat by name.
Oh, please. Like I do.
Okay, I'm just saying, because they don't say it on stage.
You basically have to read the transcript.
Yes.
Anyone who has read the transcript would be privy to this information.
But I don't need to read the transcript.
Looking real stupid right now.
What do you mean? I memorized Cats. I should be disappointed.
Okay, so here's the thing. I went in with extremely low expectations. I was looking for mistakes. You went in hoping to like it because you hope to like every musical.
Yes.
You felt betrayed. You came out of that theater feeling like they betrayed theater. No, they betrayed musicals.
Yes.
And in your heart, you're like, if it were anyone else. Now you know how I feel about stuff like certain movies. Like, I don't hate movies. I'm disappointed in movies. What would you say about this movie? How do you feel about it? Tell me what your feelings. Were you hugged enough as a child?
No. No. I don't like that question.
You got a lot of hugs, but like,
I'd say, like, you told me you would give it like a 6 out of 10.
I don't do numbers.
Sorry. I don't know. I don't think
they're too arbitrary.
It doesn't deserve the hate it was given.
It doesn't deserve 18%.
But I feel like it's not a good movie. No, it's not a great interpretation of the musical I like. But it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. So I would say it's not a great movie. I possibly could watch it, but it's most likely going to be with friends to make fun of it.
Indeed. I look at it, and this, you're right. It is not. People just need a worst movie of 2019, and unfortunately, this is the one. Yeah. I personally thought Venom was the worst movie of 2018. Dangerous game I play, but in my personal opinion, there were a lot of reasons for that. But I would never list it on. It's only because there is a list of 10 worst something of a year that this is getting any notoriety. Yeah. This should have been a movie that came out and kind of faded into the background, like Alita: Battle Angel or Ghost in the Shell. I'm upset by the live action Ghost in the Shell for multiple reasons, but I would never put it on a list because I just don't think it deserves mentioning. Instead, I should be praising the original content even more. Even now, I should be saying, let's go see the stage of Cats and see how that is. Like, this more than anything feels like a big promotion to the play rather than to its own service.
Yeah, I would say go and watch the actual stage version if you can find the movie, or just go out and see it, because it's not a bad musical. It's really good, actually, if you appreciate dancing and really good singing. Very good for showing specifically that. I would say, what is it? Well, I was going to say something.
It's only like $10 on Amazon. Go out and get it. Also $5 at Walmart. Enjoy.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
Tell me about Android Lloyd Webber.
Oh, that was it. Sorry, what I was going to say before was it's that I feel like a lot of people are just riding on the hate train instead of actually coming up with their own decisions.
I think everyone has been bashing Andrew Lloyd Webber over this. Webber,
people have said this is his worst musical he's ever made, because he did Phantom of the Opera. He made his own version of Wizard of Oz.
This is weird. This is like 90s weird, though. So I'll never say you can't go see Cats. I've never ever said you can't go see a movie. All I'm going to say is it's not enjoyable for me, but if you love it, love it. Like, I'm going to be drawing cats and legwormers later because that's funny for me and it's an aesthetic.
Something I probably wouldn't admit.
Something legwormers. But then again, I don't enjoy like straightforward poppy musicals. Like, I really don't like the Newsies because I don't think it needs to be a musical. I think it's a story that could be told by just saying it. But for Cats, it's all this like weirdness and truly something that could have only been approved in the 90s, and I love it.
It's a spectacle musical.
It's a spectacle for sure.
So he also did the Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, School of Rock, Starlight Express.
Starlight Express.
Yeah. Sunset Boulevard, Tell Me on a Sunday, The Wizard of Oz, his own version where he gave the wizard and the witch a song.
Okay. We get it. He's been in a lot of stuff and he's made a name for himself.
Sorry.
But the question becomes, what is the next thing he's going to put to the big screen? Is this a career killer? Or is this just going to propel him into the next age of like Avatar the musical?
I'd be surprised if he made his version of Wizard of Oz on the movie screen.
So you're telling me, first here confirmation that Andrew Lloyd Webber is going to be making the new 2020 Wizard of Oz musical.
Okay, no, I'm not saying he's going
Confirmed.
to. No, don't quote me, please.
I think that ship has already sailed with the wizard, and Oz, or whatever that one was back in the day.
The Oz, Great and Powerful,
with Selena Gomez as the Wicked Witch.
Oz the Great.
Yes, the Great Oz and the Great Powerful.
That wasn't Selena Gomez.
Was that not Selena Gomez?
No. No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you ready to be wrong?
No, I'm not wrong. I know movies.
You know musicals.
Oh, back off. I know a lot of movies. That is not Selena Gomez.
This was a Sam Raimi film?
Pete's sake.
What?
Just Pete's sake.
What?
I don't know.
What?
Okay, it's Rachel Weisz or Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis, dang it.
She's done a lot.
I'm bad with faces.
You really are. I'm better
really
with
am.
voices, so back off.
Okay. They have very similar eyebrows.
Kind of. I don't really compare people's eyebrows.
Anyway, I have said my 2 bits about Cats. I don't think it was terrible. I'm not recommending it to anyone. Honestly, I'm seeing this as a project that was underbaked. That, for example, that train scene change, I looked at those tracks and I'm like, oh my god, I made those in 3D Max once. And I was like, I did a school project based on this, and oh my god, they look the exact same. They had no time to render the textures in that scene. The metal should have been shining, but it wasn't. It was just flat gray color. They just didn't have the time. Oh, this is a great line. Let's see. Adam Graham from the Detroit News referred to it as "It's Battlefield Earth with whiskers." I think that is the best thing that came out of this movie, actually, are all the taglines. Like, we haven't had a good, like, roasting tagline, like, series of taglines for something in a long time. I have seen sights no human should see by Alex Kranz. And, like,
oh, wait.
There was that one. Remember that one? At first, I didn't think I was a cat person, and then I saw cats, and now I think I'm just not a movie person, which is one of my favorite lines in a long time.
No, I thought it was. I thought I wasn't a musical person.
Oh no, he wasn't a cat.
Oh, Tiber of the Boston Globe's 1/2 star review said, "There's moments in Cats I would gladly pay to unsee, and warned small children not to watch the film." Stop moving around. He reported the preview audience laughed like the reaction in Springtime for Hitler during Dench's the ad dressing of cats, because
oh my God,
each pause in her lyric.
Are you having a stroke?
Maybe. Lyrics seem to be the end of the film at long last before continuing. Sorry, I was reading the full thing.
I know you're reading the full thing.
I really like that they put it to Springtime for Hitler, because Producers is
no,
really
yeah,
funny.
Producers is a classic, and kind of it is a commentary on theater.
Yeah.
So in itself, it's a theater production about the commentary of theater, which is a great meta. But yes, this is terrifying, I imagine, for some individuals. And if that is the case, I strongly advise that you avoid any production that Hollywood makes that involves cat people, because Hollywood just doesn't get it. Go to Japan. They get it. They get it.
Or Portland. No.
Yeah, and Portland, especially on summers near September, or just on an average day, go to your ramen shop and you're likely to run into someone with cat ears.
No.
All right. Well, that's our 2 pieces on cats.
2 pieces.
What?
I don't know. You said 2 pieces, and I was like 2
cents.
Oh yeah.
What's the saying? Are you questioning me?
No.
My authority is law on this.
You will not question
I will
my
lower
authority.
the audio of your thing until you are nothing but a wee whisper.
You can't quiet me down. I will never go down because of you.
Sorry, I was too lazy to actually lower it. That's just him doing it on his own because that's how good of an actor he is. All right. That's all for now.
Oh,
Catch you later.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.